Today it is International Achievers Day, and Rafi is introducing us to some Arkansas achievers. That's what we're going to do right now, isn't it? Let's do it. Let's dive in. Yes. We talked about earlier, we were talking about Devo Davis and how much of an achiever he is. Great story. We talked about the professor from the University of Arkansas receiving that award.
That's right.
An achiever. But speaking of basketball specifically, man, we've had some greats here from the state of Arkansas. Who do you want to focus on?
How about Scottie Pippen?
Oh.
He's from Arkansas.
Yeah, for sure.
Really fascinating. As he was growing up in Arkansas, his father died. Excuse me, had a stroke, but didn't die. But was working at a paper mill. So at a young age, Scottie Pippen had to find a dream. Now he was playing multiple sports. Dr. J was his idol, so he stuck to basketball. Got no scholarship, so went to the University of Central Arkansas
that's
as
my
a
alma mater,
student manager. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
But he went as a student manager, not even as a player. But look at the journey he took after that, right? 6 NBA titles, multiple All-Stars, Hall of Fame member, top 50 NBA player officially designated. No scholarship, but made it happen.
Yes, when I was there for my undergraduate degree is what I got there at UCA. He actually walked across the stage and received an award as well during graduation
ceremony. There you go,
ceremony.
achievement.
It was huge.
With the basketball. I wish University of Arkansas had done that yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Tournament.
Maybe that's in our future, though. We got bright stuff ahead of us. Also, let's focus on another one here in Northwest Arkansas. It's a name we're all familiar with. Tell us about Sam Walton.
Oh, Sam Walton is, of course, incredible achiever worldwide. Changed the industry.
Yeah.
Now, he's been all over the place. He lived briefly in Missouri, went to college there, lived in Oklahoma, but Arkansas is where he made home. A couple of things that are really interesting about him. He actually took over a five and dime store, multiple franchises called Ben Franklin, of all things, which is great for my history reference, of course.
You love that history.
But he sort of pioneered discounting the way that he did. He was willing to take a lower margin so he could sell more. Well, when he went to five and dime to the Ben Franklin franchises and said, "Hey, I want you to cut your margin so I could cut mine," they said no, they weren't willing to do it. So he started Walmart, or what we know as Walmart, as sort of an alternative to try that model. Of course, that grew. About 20 years later, it became the largest retailer.
Yeah.
And it still continues to grow. It had about 1,700 in 1990, which made it the largest retailer, but now it's more than 10,000. What's really interesting about Walton, though, is he started as a newspaper boy, had that journey as a reaction. He pioneered other things too, like the just-in-time inventory is something that he pioneered that we still use today.
Yeah.
But what's funny is he drove a pickup truck.
Yeah, of course.
He's a regular guy. It's in the museum here in Bentonville.
Yeah.
So it really goes to show you how he kind of remembered his humble roots.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's take a step back in time. Who do you have for us? I think there's a general. What was
General MacArthur
General
is a
MacArthur.
great one. Yeah,
Okay.
He was a great general. He was a great soldier in World War I, and even actually helped put on represent the Olympics. But what he's known for is actually after retirement. The guy retired in the 1930s. Well, guess what happened shortly after? World War II.
Yeah.
So he re-entered, was in charge of the Pacific Theater, accepted the surrender of Japan, and he is one of very few five-star generals we've ever had in American history.
Wow, that is impressive. And then before we get through with this, I think we got to talk about one of my favorites. We're talking about music. What can you tell us about an Arkansas
Johnny
achiever?
Cash, come on. Johnny Cash is, of course, legendary. My favorite movie ever is actually Walk the Line.
Walk the Line, I love that movie.
Really fascinating person, of course, from right here in Arkansas. He's in the Arkansas Entertainers Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's gotten Lifetime Achievement Awards for the Grammys. His stories are incredible. Here's my favorite story that takes place right here in Fayetteville with Johnny Cash. So his original guitarist, died in a house fire.
Okay.
But in 1968, at a performance, it was the same year that the guitarist died, in a performance here in Fayetteville, he could get a guitarist from the crowd to come up on stage. That guitarist became his guitarist for the next 30 years.
Toured
from
with
the
him.
crowd, yes, from the crowd right here in Fayetteville.
That is an amazing
You never know
story.
where you find talent, part of the Johnny Cash story. Talk about an achiever. It's not just Johnny Cash, but the guitarist straight from the crowd in Fayetteville.
That's it. I love it. Thanks for inspiring us with these stories today, Rob.